Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing my reading vlog where I will be finishing up a series, and this will be episode 3. So if you have been following along the series, I will post on my previous videos above and down below, but this is now episode 3 where I'll be attempting to read and finish 4 series, and hopefully I get through all of them. At this point in time, I'm actually like halfway through. I started reading the books and then I realized I didn't even do the intro, I didn't even do the updates. I've just been busy, so I'm going to do that right now very quickly in terms of the books I am hoping to read and I have read for this video, and then my updates for the books I did finish already. So the first series I really wanted to finish was Unravel the Dusk. This book I actually did finish, and I will talk about that at the end of this quick intro. The next series I want to finish is the Bone Crier's Moon. This is Bone Crier's Dawn, which is book 2 in the series, and this is the last and final book to this duology. I did actually read this book already, so I will talk about this a little bit more at the end of this intro. So the next series I'm hoping to finish is the Mistborn trilogy. So this is the first series, or the first trilogy, and this is book 3, which is Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I am currently reading this book right now. Well, it says over here that I'm on page 180, but I don't think this is updated because I'm listening to an audiobook actually, and I've definitely listened to a little bit more than that, but not by much, I think. So I am making my way through this, and I'll talk about my thoughts again after this intro. Then the last and final series I'm hoping to pick up for this video is Lightbreaker, which is the third and final book to the Imperium trilogy. I'm very excited for this. I'm definitely keeping this on the last one because I am thinking about picking up the first 2 books and just rereading them because it's been a very hot minute since I have even touched the books. So I do want to kind of give a refresher, and because I feel like I won't do this book justice, this final book in this epic fantasy series, if I don't remember what happened in the first 2 books. And all I remember right now is that there are 2 queens who kind of span, or these 2 females who span like over 1,000 years apart from each other, and how like fate and destiny collide, all that stuff. It was really good for the first 2 books, so I need to just kind of refresh my memory with what happened before I dive into this one. All right, now that the intro is all out of the way, let's talk about the books I have already finished and kind of my progress so far. So the first book I did finish is actually Unravel the Dusk, which is by Elizabeth Lim. This book I gave 3 stars. I feel like I liked the way how this book ended, but I don't know, it was just an okay read. I loved the first book. Okay, so I really enjoyed like the magical adventure, like the tailoring, like the competition, the characters, their dynamics together. I loved all of that in the first book. For some reason I felt like it was kind of missing in the second book. I don't know if it's because I picked up as an audiobook this time around that I just wasn't feeling that connection like I did with the first book. So I'm not entirely sure what it is, but either way though, I definitely didn't feel that same connection that I felt with the characters, that I felt with the plot. Even towards the end when I finished, I was just like, okay, like I was just reading for it to be done with it. And I can tell that, you know, that's not the right attitude when you're reading a book, especially a series that you absolutely adored. So I'm not sure about that one, but yeah, that was kind of just all I can say in terms of that book. I had high expectations obviously because I really enjoyed the first book, but unfortunately it just didn't really quite live up to that hype. I still enjoyed it, like I still liked how the book ended and what the author was trying to do. I just felt like in terms of my experience with the second book, it just was not on par with my experience with the first book. So the next book I want to discuss is The Bone Crier's Dawn. So this book I ended up giving 2.5 stars. So as you can tell, that is probably not the greatest rating. I also listened to this book on audiobook, and again, I don't know if it's because of the narrator or, you know, just having that like lost sense of connection with the characters, but I definitely did not feel as invested in what was going on with this book. And to be fair though, like I got through like part of the way of the audiobook and I was like, either I pick it up physically or I'm gonna have to DNF it because I just don't know what's going on and I don't care what's going on. So I ended up finding this book physically, thank God. So I ended up picking up the rest of the book as a physical book, and it definitely helped. But by that point I felt like I was already so like nonchalant about the entire story that it didn't help by much. Like it helped me to continue on with the book, but it didn't help me love the book like I did with the first book, because the first book honestly was just such a surprise. I really loved the characters, I loved the way how the magic worked, the whole Grace Bones, and just this dynamic between the 2 sisters slash best friends. So I just loved all of that. But then this book came along and I just don't know what happened, but it just was not the greatest ending, I suppose. And finally, the last update that I have for you guys currently is Hero of Ages. So like I said, I'm already on page 180 plus a little bit, give or take maybe like 10-15 pages. this book has been a struggle as well. I am also listening to an audiobook because I listened to the second book on audio, and I felt like the beginning was kind of hard to get into, but by the end I felt like I was very invested in the story again. This book so far, I'm still not there yet. I feel like, I mean, I'm almost 200 pages away in, and you will think that I would have gotten really invested in the story. That is not the case. Also, I don't understand how this book, like, this is 200 pages, guys. Like, this is like, what? So this book actually is like 750 pages. It doesn't really look like that because it doesn't look that chunky. I'm honestly kind of surprised actually, because 180 pages is still only this much. That's kind of insane. But anyways, point is though, like, I feel like I've just been listening to this forever and I've definitely gotten nowhere, which I can tell from just how this book is right now, that I still have a long way to go. So we'll see how that goes. But either way though, I just feel like I don't know if I really love it so much. I really enjoyed the first book. I thought it was really great. The second book took me some time. It was very politically heavy, so I kind of understood that. So this book just kind of follows a continuation of the second book and how they're just trying to like save their kingdom, but also dealing with the dynamics between the Colossus as well as the humans, and their like kind of relationship with each other, as well as the fact that something is happening with the mist and they're not sure what this means for their future. So that's all I can really say without spoiling too much about it, but I'm enjoying it. It's just not the greatest right now, and it's definitely hard to get into. I feel like his writing, I don't know, I might have to just pick it up physically at some point again, because I feel like that might just be how I can go about in reading this book and this series in a better way. Like, I can absorb it better. So anyway, that's all to say for this quick intro. My intro and some of the updates I have so far. I will continue on reading the books, the series, and hopefully I will have this video up sometime in the next few weeks. We'll see how that goes, but I feel like this episode 3 has been a struggle so far. Like, I honestly thought, like, when I made this video, like the initial video where I was like all the books, series I want to finish, I thought they were going to be like all like 4 or 5 star reads. As you can clearly tell, my first 2 episodes, that has not been the case. And even now, like 2 out of the 4 series I wanted to read has been kind of a letdown. So we'll see. Hopefully this will pick up, and hopefully I will read the first 2 books of the Imperium trilogy, so the 3rd book will be very good. We'll see how that goes. So just want to jump in quickly and give you guys an update for Mistborn, because I just finished reading it the other day and I am going to give it 4 stars. It was not a bad book by any means. I just feel like I realized after finishing the series is that his books, especially for Mistborn, like very dense high fantasy books, it is better for me to read it physically. When I picked up audiobook, I just felt like it was so easy for me to just lose focus because there's just so much going on that I kind of zone out some of the time. And like for this book, I realized, especially because my audiobook ran out when I was like halfway, 3/4 of the way through, and I was not able to renew it because there were some people waiting behind me. So I had to wait 2-3 weeks, and I was like, it's fine, I have my physical book, I'll just pick it up then. So I did that, and that last quarter was so much more smooth for me to read and digest it, because I just realized that. So anyways, I feel like because of that, that might have kind of skewed my experience of the book overall. Like, it was not bad. I still really enjoyed it. I liked the characters. The ending was wild. There was so much happening, and I'm still interested enough to continue on with the second half of the Mistborn trilogy, which I believe is set like 100 years after the end of this first one. So I'm very curious, but I did not expect how the book ended in certain ways, and I'm very curious to see how the book will continue now, like the world will continue now that everything was done with the first trilogy, because like I said, so much stuff happened. So that's all I can really say for this book. You definitely like need to take notes and read it slowly and digest it, because it's definitely not a fast, you can skim it. Sometimes you can do it with certain books. This is not the series to do that. So anyways, I still really enjoyed it. Gonna continue on the series. Now I need to finish up his rest of the books, the Cosmere, because now that he has released more books, I have a lot to catch up. So yeah, but his books are just, they just take forever, and I'm very hesitant about picking up some of them because they're 1,000 pages long, over 1,000 pages long. So yeah, but anyways though, I am happy that I finished the series, the original series, and now I can move on with the rest of the series, hopefully, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just want to jump in and give us an update for this one. I did partly pick up my last and final series, which is the Imperium series. I did pick up the first book to start off, and for some reason I cannot find my second book, so I just bought it again. I don't know what happened to it. Like, I don't know how I read it. Like, did I read it as an ebook? Did I read it as like an arc and then I gave it away? Like, what was I doing with that? I don't really remember. So anyways, I did purchase the book, the second book, because I realized that I don't have it. But I am halfway through the first one right now, and it's really, really good. So I'm really happy that I am rereading it, because now I can go into the third book with a fresh, you know, set of eyes and be able to like actually understand everything that's going on, because there is a lot. It's very intricate as well. Definitely not as intricate as Brandon Sanderson for sure, but it definitely has its own world and magic system and a lot of different characters and like political like views and everything. So I'm curious to see how this book will end, and then I will finish up the series and I'll give you guys an updates. But I'm really enjoying my reread so far, and yeah. Alright, so just jumping in quickly to give you guys an update on my reading, because I am actually doing a pretty good job, or decent job I guess, on my reading. I'm now on book 3, which is Lightbringer for the Imperium trilogy. I finished book 1 and book 2 already. I finished book 2 I think 2 days ago at this point, and I have to say it has been a blast rereading it. I can also safely say that the first book is amazing, definitely, you know, 4 or 5 stars. The second book is kind of the same as I thought last time. It's still very much suffering like second book syndrome, where there's definitely a lull in some of the action that's happening. There's a lot of like, I don't know, I just felt like there's a lot going on that seemed unnecessary at some point, and I felt like the book could have been shorter, but I still really enjoy just, you know, rehashing everything that went on and just remembering like all the stuff, like all the plot twists and turns, all the dynamics between Simon and Riel and Elena and Remy, and just like there's just so much going on with all of them. Obviously Corian, there's a lot of characters that's involved obviously with this book, and it's just been a really good time to just remember everything that happened and remember all of their relationships and like what happened between all of them. It's been intense for sure. So I'm happy to just jump into my third book. I am now on page 60 and I'm enjoying it. I feel like there's definitely, it's starting off slow, so I'm not like jumping right into it like immediately. There's so much going on. That's not really the case. For some reason I definitely feel like there's some sort of like pause, you know, where there's just not a lot going on right now. There is, but like there isn't, you know, like I feel like it's just dragging. So that's kind of my update for now. It's still good, but I'm excited to just go into it and see how much more I can get done. I am actually like starting another reading vlog right now for the magical readathon, so I'm not sure if this video will be up before then, because that is a week-long reading vlog or readathon as well. So we'll see how that goes, but I am reading this book Lightbringer for that readathon, so I will be doing some more like in-depth updates on that reading vlog as well. So, you know, I'm updating 2 now, but this is kind of a like, I don't really do like updates every few chapters for these type of videos, like for this series, so that's not what I'm going to be doing this time around. So if you want more like in-depth, you know, updated every like, you know, a few chapters, 50, 100 so pages, like definitely check out that reading vlog instead. I feel like that would be a lot more comprehensive and in-depth. But yeah, I just want to update you guys, let you guys know that I've been reading and I finished 2 out of the 3 books, and that I'm almost done with this trilogy, and then I can wrap up this vlog. So I'm here to just kind of end the vlog now because it's been a while, and I just managed to finish reading the Imperium trilogy, and the third book is a Lightbringer, which I ended up giving 3.5, 4 stars. I'm still a little bit conflicted, to be honest, just because I feel like it was good but it wasn't amazing, and it felt very confusing. I felt like the climax where everything kind of like came together was just, it was very hard to like understand sometimes, because there were so many different POVs and it was so many different perspectives on the exact same like battle that was happening. So you're kind of seeing just like you're seeing a lot of different things happening at the exact same time, and I just felt like it was hard to follow. And at the end of the day, I was kind of just like, I'm not sure. And the ending was very bittersweet, and while I felt like it was very realistic with everything that was happening, I was like, it made sense for it to be bittersweet, it still wasn't satisfying. So I don't know, I just feel like I read all of this and the ending was just like okay, you know. So that's why I'm gonna give the book 3.5 stars / 4 stars. Still on the fence about that, to be honest, but I mean, I still overall enjoy the entire series. I would give the entire series a solid 4 star. I still think that the first book was by far the best, with just all the build-ups, all the different characters, and the second and third book, I just felt like they went through so many issues that, and a lot of it was like mental, like things that was happening from like Corian, and like all the mental warring that was happening, that it just like, it was not as action packed because a lot of it was like mental warfare, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, like I liked it, but it wasn't the best series. But anyways, I want to go in and just kind of like wrap everything up in terms of all the series that I read and just the ratings I gave everything. So the first series I finished was the Blood of Stars series, which I gave the whole thing 3 stars. I also picked up the Bone Grace series, which I gave 2.5 stars. And then I read Mistborn series, which I gave that book 4 stars. And then the last book that I read for this video is Lightbringer, which is the last book in the Imperium trilogy, which I gave 3.5 4 stars. So this vlog episode was actually not as bad as the previous ones, because I did give one series 4 stars for sure, one that's like 3.5 4 stars, and then the other 2 were like 2 stars 3 stars, which is not the greatest, but I feel like generally like the average was not as bad compared to like my previous 2 episodes. But yeah, that's what to say for this video. Let me know down below if you have read any of these books before, and what did you guys think about the series and their endings. Do you guys agree with my ratings overall, or do you disagree? But as always, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel, and if you like to see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as hit the notification bell. But as always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.